All right, guys. Last week was a really good week. Well, let me give you the day so you'll have a point of reference. Today is Sunday, April 19th, 2026. And you know it's been crazy wartime volatility and market manipulation. But I want to share with you how well our core algo is doing. But before we do that, we actually have a brand new algorithm that we'll be testing live with live funds, and the developer, he suggested $300. So we placed $300 into an account, and in this video, we're going to tell you what some of the expectations are. Remember, this is J6.5. Anything that we do here or say here is not financial advice. It's going to be hypothetical results and tracking of our real money results up to now. Let's get started. And by the way, yes, I'm still on my walking pad, so this is just the way most of these videos will be done. So if it bugs you, make sure you just read the transcript in our school group, which is absolutely free. Let's see here. This is the Gold Reaper that we're thinking about buying the source code so we can offer this um, in our trade copy program, and you should be able to trade copy it for free if you're already part of one of our trade copy offerings. So let's take a look at this, guys. What did we do? Come on, put $300 in here. We're using the standard inputs, and this is what the test showed us. Now, I'm not going to run it again right now because this EA is so robust. It runs like 9 different strategies at one time. So it takes a lot to back test this. As a matter of fact, this back test runs from January 2025 all the way up to April, last week, April 17th, 2026. And this is what came up, guys. This was $300. And in around 16 months, we're looking at almost $1,200. So, what made us decide to take this thing on? And let me show you a series of the stress tests that we put this thing through. So, we have some very, very high expectations of this. But the only way to know is put real money in a real account, and let's test it in real time. Okay, now here we are, and this was from January 1st, 2025, again to April 17th, 2026. So again, around 16 months, I think. And the initial deposit was $300, 870 net profit. This is net profit. The gross profit is over here with the gross loss, but right here is the net profit that the back test processed. Maximum drawdown. Remember what that means, guys. And I'm going to round this up to 40% drawdown. Remember, if I had $1,000 in this account, I would have to see that thing go down 40% to 600 before it recovered back up, or before it crashed. One of those two things. Here we go again with relative drawdown. Again, around 40%. So that's the equity curve that it showed for that period of time. So now, one of the things that I did, I told you I go crazy with this. One of the things that I did is I went to Chat GPT and I asked it, during this period, what were the most trying times? What were the worst market weeks during this period? And I wanted to see how this robot, how this algorithm performed in those weeks. Let's see what it said. The first bad market week, and we're just talking about the general, like the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, things of that nature. Um, the first one was in January of 2025. They said the approximate week was around the first week, right here, January 2nd through 10th. It shows you exactly what the S&P, where that was, like 3 to 4% down. NASDAQ 5% down around that time. And it said that the markets repriced expectations, bond yields spiked quickly, and tech was the largest hit. Now this is what our robot did. We started with $300 and it took a hit initially all the way down to like around $100. Then it started the recovery at the end of the month. So it did take a hit, and let's look at this. Net profit, it closed out at a $45 loss when starting with $300. But as you can see, it started to recovery. We're not mad at that. But the drawdown was, what was our drawdown here? 40% and 40% here. So we took a 40% hit. If you're scaling that with with more money, so if you start with $1,000, that 40% again would be $400 down before it started to recover. Second one, April of 2025. Now I don't know if chat um, is being political here. But April 2025, they call it Inflation Surprise Week. I call it Liberation Week as well, because that first week of April, you remember April 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, April 2nd was Tariff Liberation, right? So I think that was pretty bad. But at the same time, right here, you see that we actually made money. And it said the S&P was 3% down. Um, Key 2% session after CPI release came in hotter. I don't see anything about tariffs. That's interesting to me. But anyways, we actually made money on this particular back test. It was under $300. If we started this particular month, we would have made $23. So that's up a nice little hit. Not quite 10%, but what, around 8% up. Let's check the next one. So this is July 2025, and they call this the AI tech pullback. And you can see the week was pretty much late July. So what we did, we tested our robot right in mid-July through mid-August, just to see and try to get a sort of a better barometer on this. And of course, we actually had a small gain on this. Well, can't call this small. It's over, what is that, 3%? So that's not bad at all. So it passed that stress test. Next stress test after that was October 2025. And as you can see here, they labeled that a yield spike, risk off, 4% S&P, approximately a week early October. So we just went ahead and looked at all of October. And here you see that we lost that week as well, according to the test. But nothing, it just seems like everything that it's doing is recoupable. So we had $300, ended the month with a negative $16. So that's not too bad. Maximum drawdown, look at this, only 6%. So not bad at all. But by the end of the month, we did end the month in a loss of $16. I can live with that. After that one, chat gave us February of 2026. So now we're into 2026, 3% in the S&P. Guys, you can go back and check this stuff. Multiple 1.5 to 2% days during that particular month. That was February. And so we look at this. We actually had a 10%, according to our back test, a 10% gain, a little bit over 10% initial investment for that month. Started with $300. Net profit was $36. So that was an overperformance. Now remember, these are back tests. That's why we're giving it $300 to make sure that the back test and the real market tests align. And here's our March 2026. And of course, you know that we're embroiled in the market manipulation and also the war. So how is this program to handle anything like that? It's kind of ridiculous. You would think that everything would lose. And as you can see, early in March, S&P was 3 to 5% down. There was some wild swings in there. So this one stayed out of the bullshit, and it actually was up $60. Was that 20%? Yeah, 20% during March when everything else was going to hell in a handbasket. Let's check the next stress test. So on Sunday, April 19th, 2026, So we're testing this with real money in real time. We just put $300 into an account. The account that we put it into is Ox Securities. If you want a true no risk way, is find one of these unregulated brokers that have a great reputation, and you can test this on your own with no money, because they'll give you a free demo account where you can either trade it manually, or you can place a robot on it and learn how to utilize all the technical aspects, things of that nature, or you just can copy it from us. But this is one that we will probably buy a source code to, and if we do buy the source code, our members, our subscribers will be able to copy it for free. Just bring your own copier. All right, guys, go out there and make some real money, and let's just see what this gives us. Peace.